What's good, guys? As promised, I'm here with another commentary for you over this leg workout. So this was filmed using a slightly different camera, so let me know what you think. I am getting hands on a 600D soon, so that should be quite nice. So anyway, onto the workout. I have been doing front squats now for the last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, as back squats were really just irritating my knee, my right knee, whereas front squats seem to just completely take the tension off my knees, allowing me to get lower and obviously target the quads. But I also find that it's obviously strengthening my core as well, which is ultimately going to improve my back squat, which I would like to go back to. So here we just progressed up the weight. Started with the bar, done 2 sets on a bar, just for some mobilization stuff, and then increased by sort of 10, so we went up to 40, then it increased up to 60, then 70, and now this is 80. I was actually feeling quite weak today. I'd done this on Wednesday, and this was now Saturday, so 2 days after, and yeah, I definitely didn't feel as strong as I did on Wednesday. So we did leave it at 80. I think I only done 4 reps there. I done 2 sets of that. Then finished off on something that I got from Mike O'Hearn. He tends to do on his birthday every year 100 kilograms or 225, I think it is, for his age in reps, basically. So we done 47 back squats reps on 225 the other day, and I kind of thought I might do that with 50k on front squats. So I am 26 years old, so I done 26 reps, and at the time it felt like a good idea. Probably about halfway through, it still felt like a good idea, but by the time I got to about 18 to 20 reps, I could certainly feel this, and I think it's more affected my cardio, because obviously in a squat, your front squat in particular, your core is very tight, so the breath tends to be very short, sharp, especially when you're repping it like this. So there, when I'm waiting at the top a couple of times, that is just so I can take a nice deep breath in and refill my lungs with some oxygen, get some oxygen into the blood, so the blood can fuel my legs. But this was actually quite a nice little finisher, to be fair, and I did enjoy it, oddly enough. The guy I'm training with, Matt Cook, you can check him out on Instagram at matt.cook.fitness. It's really nice to have a training partner occasionally, because I've been training on my own for a little while, and yeah, it just gives you a little bit more of a kick up the arse when you got somebody there training with you, and at the same time, obviously, it's nice to have somebody else to hold the camera, so I don't have to keep propping it up, give you guys some different angles. But he joined in. He's 20 years old. He was sticking with back squats because obviously he hasn't got any problem with his knees, and why not? So he kept the same weight, but obviously for slightly less reps, and done very well on this workout. I think he said that it's one of the hardest leg workouts he's had, and obviously that's a good thing. So hopefully he'll be back for another workout. Then we moved on to some stiff-legged deads. Now this one is so difficult to get the technique right, and it requires sort of flexibility in your hamstrings. If your hamstrings are tight, then you will tend to either bend your knees more, which doesn't allow for the sort of stretch through the hamstrings that you require, or arch more at the back, so which would then mean that your back is doing sort of the majority of the lift, and that is what Matt experienced on this one. So you can see his form is actually pretty decent, slight round on the shoulders, only ever so slightly, and slight curve in the back, but he was still feeling this in his hamstrings in the first sort of few reps of the first set, but as the set went on, and as we went into the second set, he did start to feel it a bit more in his back. So we decided to stop with them ones. I think we only done 3 sets. I think Matt may have done 2, because it's just not worth putting that constant strain through your lower back. So we finished up on this one and moved on to some different exercises. But this is just what was I doing here? 60k, nothing too crazy. As I said, I've done some heavy ass ones of these on Wednesday, which kind of felt good. I hadn't done for a long time, and I felt so strong. I don't really know why, but so kept with the lighter stuff on today's workout. Moved on to leg extensions, and because of my imbalance as well on my quads, we decided to hit some single leg leg extensions. So the weight's slightly lighter, and then starting with your weaker leg first. That's very important. So most people, when they do single leg or single limb stuff, will just start with their favoured leg, their stronger leg. Now, if you do that and you're hitting consistently 10 reps on, say, your right leg, for example, and then you go over to your left and you struggle to get 10, and by the fourth set you can't, then you've done more reps on your stronger leg and less reps on your weaker leg, and therefore sort of making that imbalance worse. So yeah, basically start with your weaker leg, guys, and match the reps that you do with your weaker leg. Sounds simple enough, but obviously when you think about it, when you're not thinking about it, when you're just cracking on with your workout, you will literally and naturally just go for your favoured leg. So with these ones again, you probably notice, excuse me, God, I am tired. You probably notice I'm not going all the way up. Now again, for me, I don't like the feel on my knees when I fully extend my leg, because of my knee. So it's kind of like a partial rep really, but what I feel is it targets and isolates the VMO a lot more. If I fully extend my leg, then I feel a lot more in my hip flexor, and yeah, it doesn't feel too good, and then obviously through the front of my knee as well. But so yeah, keeping it nice and steady, controlled, isolating the muscle, and just focus on that mind-muscle connection is so important. It's not about what you lift necessarily, it's about how you lift it, and if you're using the right muscles and isolating the right muscles, then you're going to get hypertrophy, which is muscle growth, which is what we're training for. So on this workout, this was Saturday, I am currently 15 days out of the Miami Pro. So really any muscle growth now is not, obviously I'm not going to get any in the next 2 weeks, plus I'm in a deficit. It is just a case of conditioning and keeping the use of the muscles, basically. So here, you may have seen these before, Sissy squats. I needed to really sort of have my heels up a bit higher. We haven't got a Sissy squat machine, and this weight was a little bit too low on the ground, but we could still feel it. So here, Matt's probably demonstrating it a little bit better than me actually. So you want to really try and lean back, and by having your heels raised off the ground, it allows for your knees to go further forward, and so that they don't really go over your toes too much, therefore keeping the tension on the quads and not on the tendons in the knee. This is probably one of my favourite underused exercises. I've only really just started incorporating these again because my knee is starting to feel a bit better, and I can feel this isolate on my quad. And for me, my legs development is quite strange. I've got sort of a big sweep. The thickness of my legs is good, the depth of my legs is good, but as I start to go towards my knee, I have sort of tiny little sort of child knees, if you like, and my VMO, so the teardrop muscle, commonly known, isn't huge. So therefore, kind of, if I'm wearing shorts, it doesn't look like I train legs until I'm naked. So yeah, I do train legs though, as you can see. Then we moved on to some hamstring curls, lying hamstring curls. I don't like using the seated hamstring curl because I just feel like my shin is going to get all kinds of snapping going on. So I really prefer this one. It just feels like a much more natural motion. And I love supersetting these with calf raises as well. So, and because the machines are so close, it's just perfect. So we hit set of 10 on the hamstring curl, and then moved over to calf raises. Now you notice on these, I don't lock out my legs because the weight is on my shoulders. So if I'm going to lock out my legs, then I'm going to put a lot of the weight through my knees. You can see how small my little knees are there. But anyway, yeah, so I won't lock out, I'll keep soft knees, and then you'll feel the load on your calves and not strain through your knees or even through your lower back. I think we've done 4 sets of these. Not too sure. I think it was 4 sets, 10 on each. Yeah, it's definitely 4 sets. Now, another thing I want to go over with the hamstring curl, there's so many different ways that you could alter this one exercise and feel it slightly differently. So if you was to point your toes, then you'd probably feel a little bit more calf, and it would feel a lot heavier on your hamstrings. It'd feel a lot harder, so you'd have to go a lot lighter. If you was to drive your heels, so you sort of bring your toes towards your knee, then it will feel a bit easier, so you could probably go a bit heavier. You can also lift your hips off the pad slightly so that you're creating a bit more of an angle, kind of like an easy curl. So if you was doing bicep curls, easy bicep curls, obviously you're at a bit more of an angle. Very, very similar movement, just with your legs. So I'd probably play around with it, guys. Switch it up a little bit, see how you feel it. Again, it's just focus on the connection between your mind and your muscle. It's really as simple as that. I only really started doing that since I had my shoulder injury, about 3 years ago now, nearly 4, I'm not sure. And since then I had to really focus on my muscle connection and focus on contraction, and that has made a huge difference in my workout, and in my strength, but mainly in muscle development. So if you can take one thing away from this, guys, it would be that. So I think this is probably our last set. While we are sort of waiting for the next exercise, I did want to talk a little bit about the industry and where I want to go with this channel. And basically, the reason all of my Instagram, all my social media, and my YouTube channel, it is what it is. It's raw, it's footage, it's not edited to a point where like you're changing my physique or I'm trying to get in the best lighting or anything like that. It's just a case of this is me, this is how I look. This is how I look when I'm training legs, this is how I look, etc. when I'm out and about. So I don't want to give you guys a false image. I've achieved this over years and years of training. And if you look back to my motivational video, my channel intro, you can see where I started, and that was at 16, that photo at the end of my video. So it's taken a long time, 26 years old now, so it's 10 years just to get to here. So it's not an easy road, it is a long road, but it is definitely worth it when you get to the other end. And I just want to stay as raw and as sort of realistic as possible, because you can achieve this. Anybody can achieve. Just stay consistent to what it is that you want to do. Okay, I introduced Matt into a new way of doing the leg press. I say a new way, not really at all. But what we're doing here is, I don't know if you can see on that pad, there is a bar that is slightly raised. And what we've got is our heels on that, again, allowing for our knees to go slightly more forward before any tension goes through the front of our knee. Now, because we can have our feet a lot lower, this basically really isolates the quads. And you can then, the weight, you can load the weight right up, it'll feel quite light, but you're really just trying to target the sort of VMO, basically, right on the end of your quads, right by your knee. And I love this exercise. And we finish off with this one, 4 sets of 25 reps. Excuse me, so 100 reps in total, obviously split between 4 sets, and it was a killer. but it was amazing at the same time. So that's it, guys. Quick physique update for you. This was Sunday evening, the after carb loading. So I'm a little bit leaner now. It's Monday morning, but feeling pretty good. 2 weeks out. So let me know what you think about the video in the comments below, guys. Thank you so much for your support so far. I'm loving the comments and reading them. Any input, anything you want me to do, see, show, just chuck it in the comments, guys. Let me know. If you're enjoying the channel, please give me a thumbs up, a share, a comment, a like, anything. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks again, guys.